Hey, this is Troy from Now with Troy. And today, my video is going to be a little bit longer. I'm going to talk about why Thirdera. The captions are going to stop. So, can you hear me? I mean, can you hear me? Good. As I said, I've been working with Thirdera for a while, and one of the questions that come up is why Thirdera? And what makes Thirdera different? One of the things that keeps coming to mind and people keep bringing up is Thirdera is the world's largest pure play ServiceNow partner. And while by some accounts and by many accounts that's true or likely true, one of the things I realized is that's probably the wrong question. There are a few partners that are, pretty large, pure play. Thirdera, something about high, something about fast. But I'm not going to talk about those other partners because, like I said, I don't think that's the right question to ask. We are a very large pure play ServiceNow partner, and we continue to focus on that scale. But I think it's more important to step back and say, what's behind Thirdera? The vision and the leadership behind it. Pick that name very carefully, and there's some meaning behind it. So I want to spend some time talking about, Now with Troy, why Thirdera matters and why I think it clarifies the question of should we be looking at the world's largest or not? We likely are anyway. But the analogy that comes to mind, I live in Colorado, and while I'm not a rock climber, I'm not into four-wheel, I think there's some analogies here. But as you think about growing in scale, think about having your car, your vehicle, and let's say it's all-wheel drive, and you want to go more off-road, right? You want to scale. There's different ways to do that. And one of the ways to start is very much like ServiceNow. You want to start a practice and grow it, and you want to grow a little bit bigger. You take what you have and you apply some things to it. So let's take a look. If we think about starting off in four-wheeling, one of the ways you can do that is take the vehicle you have and lift it and put some tires on it, right? Is this a way to get off-road? Absolutely. And one of the things our leaders found is early in their career in ServiceNow, there are ways that they could start a practice, focus on customers, and grow that capability, but there were some limitations. And so our leaders left that through acquisition or other choices and were part of a very large organization, a GIS, a global system integrator. And they built a large ServiceNow practice that you could say kind of looks like this. Let me move my cursor over, right? We take a Jeep and you lift it with just a body lift. Right, you try some things. You're going to go off-road. You need some clearance. Let's put on some bigger tires and lift it. I found this image because it circles the unique area that shows that this Jeep just has the body lifted on it. It applies some things and it can do some things off-road, but it's really not growing with scale. Our leaders found in that global system integrators that there were some scale that they could address with ServiceNow, but there were still areas that they couldn't address. And so they stepped out and thought differently and brought us into what I'd call the third era of ServiceNow partners. And if you think about off-roading, this Jeep, I think, is an example of what could be considered the third era of off-road. Now, if you're a big off-roader, I'm sure there's tons of critiques. But for my simple analogy, I hope this works. There's a suspension lift on here that lifts it truly. They've changed out some of the transmission parts, made them stronger, and you can see there's a winch on top as well, right? They've learned some lessons. They've been stuck. They probably broke some components and learned. And likewise, that's how our leaders at Thirdera have gone through. And that's what the name means. Jason Moyen has a number of different explanations of the third eras that we've gone through. But for this argument, it's really looking at how do we take a small boutique pure play partner and grow it, but grow it with experience of working at a large GIS, of seeing some of the things that work at scale and some of the things that don't. We're building in the systems and infrastructure, much like building a Jeep, a true off-road vehicle, means putting some different suspension in place, putting some different tools in place, and growing at scale. And what that means is maniacal focus on our customers, on you if you choose to work with us, and the ability to really grow globally and grow at scale so we can support as ServiceNow continues to expand. It is a platform of platforms that is just accelerating with capabilities across the enterprise to be that system of action. An enterprise system for structured work is one of the ways that I put it. And at Thirdera, we aim to be that partner that can grow at scale with you, with the systems in place and the structures in place to do it based on the experience that we've had. I myself have worked at 3 different partners with different scale. And at Thirdera, I see how those lessons have been learned and we're growing along with it. And so if you haven't reached out to Thirdera, if you haven't asked about how we might be able to help you with your ServiceNow journey, please reach out. If I can't help you directly, I will connect you with someone that will. And I challenge you to experience the Thirdera difference. Thanks. Bye.